Okay, perfect. So thank you so much for joining again. So this is the fifth session in the entire series of AI Fabric, and previously we have seen very interesting use cases, and we have built bot in the session. And most of you have also created the bots and uploaded on the social media and tagged us. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for great learning, and thank you so much for attending consistently, each and every one of you. And this session is also going to be really interesting and with one more useful package of out of the box models. So as we discussed in the last session, today we are going to look at language translation package. Now, language translation package in AI Fabric is one of the most useful package which reduces the efforts of international communication and which allows you to, spread your wings diversely. Okay, now what are the packages and what are the languages that are currently supported in this package? We will have a look at that. So before we jump on directly the topic, let us first of all look at from the basics. So as you navigate to AI Fabric, you can see here I have already deployed four packages, which is English to German, English to Russian, German to English, and Russian to English. Now I'll click on one of them, English to German, let's say. Uh, all the packages, all the packages are non-retrainable. So you do not have to worry about any training. Okay. Now, I have opened one of the package. Now, what do I mean by non-retrainable? So I do not have to upload any data set. You can see here, I do not have any data set here. You have to create package, okay? Then you do not have to create any pipeline is because it is a non-retrainable model, okay? And you have to create only ML skill, that's it. Now let us look at the package closely. So in the previous sessions, we have looked at image analysis where we have seen both the models, which is image moderation and object detection in the session one, the first session. In the second session, we have looked at English text classification, which was a part of the model of language analysis, where we have seen English text classification and how it works. In the third session, we have seen sentiment analysis, and we have also seen the blog of sentiment analysis, and we have also seen the comparison of sentiment analysis with Python code of sentiment analysis. And in the fourth session, we have seen language comprehension, where we have seen already question and answering bot. You can navigate anytime back to all these three sessions, all these four sessions previously, and you can check the recording and you can create the bots. Also, we have seen semantic similarity and text summarization in the last session. I hope you have tried this packages and you have created something wonderful. I'm looking forward to you utilizing semantic similarity and text summarization. And finally, coming to our today's topic, which is language translation. So language translation consists of five models, as you can see here. So language translation is a package which consists of English to French, English to German, English to Russian, German to English, and Russian to English. Now, out of this five, only English to French is one-way package, or the rest four are two-way packages where you have English to German and German to English, English to Russian and Russian to English. Only French to English is not available currently, but it will soon be available maybe. Now, if you go here inside this model, you can see this model is open sourced by Facebook AI Research. Okay, it is a sequence to sequence machine translation model that translates English to French language. Now, for all these models, input is a very simple English language text, which is like this, hello world, as you can see here. And output is going to be the translated text. Now, it is not going to be any JSON format or with the accuracy or anything. It is just going to be a single string with the output description. And as you can see here, this is a non-retrainable model, okay, which is English to French model. The package version is also 1.0, which is the latest version which is available as of now. Let us navigate to the next package. The next package is English to German. This is also the similar package extracted by Facebook AI Research, open source by Facebook AI Research. And also it takes input in a simple English text, and it gives you German language translated text. Now, all these models have only 1.0, which is one model, and all these models are non-retrainable. Now, we will look at from base and from scratch, and today we will create one bot which can actually translate languages, identify languages translate the language to English. We can answer the question which is asked in a foreign language, and our answer also will be translated back to that foreign language and will be answered back to the person who is asking the question. Okay, so we'll create that bot, and in the meantime we will also try to utilize some fun part here for language detection. So stay tuned. This is going to be a very interesting use case. Okay. Now, how to create and how to deploy a package. The first thing you need to do is jump on AI Fabric, click on create project, give it a name, give it a description, and go inside. Now, I already have reached the limit of creating the ML packages. How do I know that I have reached the limit? So I can click here and I can check license usage. So license usage is 2 out of 2. All 2 AI robots are being used currently. There is no GPU, so GPU is showing as 0. Okay, I'll navigate back. Now, in order to create the package, what you have to do is click on create project, create a new project. And once you create a new project, you do not have to upload any data set. Directly click on ML packages, go to the out of the box packages, navigate to language translation, select any one of them, and here click on submit. Here you have to click on submit. That's it. And then once you submit, now last time, a couple of people asked me question that while until and unless we create ML skill, the ML package status will be undeployed, and you will be keep on waiting to change the status of this ML package to deployed. But remember, unless and until you create a ML skill, the ML package status will be undeployed only. So do not worry about the status of ML package, because ML package is nothing but only selecting the package that you want to run. But when you create ML skill and when the ML skill status changes to available, only at that moment your package status will change to deployed. So do not wait for the package status to change to deployed and then create ML skill, but you can create ML skill even though the status of ML package is undeployed. Okay. Now I have all these 4 AI Fabric ML skills. Now, how do I know that? So what I will do is I will simply click on admin. I will click on my tenants and I will go to the tenant orchestrator in which this all AI Fabric robots are uploaded or machine learning skills are created. You can see now I'm in orchestrator. In the orchestrator, if you click on tenant here, okay, in the tenant, you have to click on ML skill. So I will click on this ML skill and you can see all 4 packages are available. The statuses are available. There is no GPU. Version is 1. Predictions, I have not made any predictions yet. And the description is blank. Okay. Now, without wasting time, let us start with the development of the bot. How can we utilize this language translation models in our workflow? And we will see how we can leverage the language translation bot. So I will navigate to process. I will say here language translation. And now I will create a new project here. Okay. Now in this one, this is the blank canvas which we get. Now let's drag in a flowchart here. Open the flowchart. I will move the start button sideways here. Now the very first thing that I want to do is I want to create, a communication basis UI, a simple UI. You can say we are not going to make anything complex. You can always design a complex bot, but we cannot design it in 1 hour. So I'm going to keep it very short and simple to understand how this exactly works. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to take one input dialog here to take the input from user, and we'll put here dialog box. It will be something like question. Okay. Input label will be enter your question here. And we are going to capture question in the question variable. Okay. Now, once we receive question, we are going to rename this particular activity as question, where we will get. And now we are going to identify, okay, the language of this particular question. To detect the language of this particular question, now I only have 4 AI Fabric, skills which are for translation. Now, how do I identify language? Now, I know if you have noticed it. Okay, let us navigate back to our AI Fabric. I will click on the admin. I will navigate back to AI Fabric. Go to the ML packages, out of the box model. Okay. Sorry. So in the language analysis package, have you noticed we have a language detection model also, which identifies your language and which tells you which language you are, which language text is actually there. So this model can identify up to 176 languages and predict the language code. So it will give you a language code just like this and the confidence of the prediction based on the language text that you enter in an input. So either you can use this model to predict the language, which is a language detection, or you can use Google's Google Vision. So Google Vision is nothing but a package of UiPath which allows you to utilize Google Vision scope. So I will say Google Vision activities. You have to download this package set, which is Google Vision activities, and you have to create a Google Vision API. Okay. Now I have downloaded this package. Okay. So once I have downloaded the package for Google Vision, now I will simply type here Google. As you can see here, Google Vision scope is there. So I will drag it here. Okay. It needs the API key. So I will simply copy my Google Vision API key and I will put it in a variable called as Google Vision API. Okay. Now what I have to do is I have to just pass the Google Vision API keys here, Google Vision API, and I am going to make this authentication as API key based authentication. Okay. Now in this Vision scope, as you can see here, as I typed Google in the activities panel, I have all these activities available in the Vision package. So out of this, what do you think we can utilize to identify the language? So let's drag a text detection. Okay. Now in the text detection, if you check here, we can detect the language of a particular text which is being entered. Okay. But here input is image or image URL. What is the other way to identify the language? So here there is handwriting detection. This also takes an input as an image. Text detection also takes an input as an image. Now let us say okay, so let's use text detection instead of handwriting detection. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to, rather than taking input from user, what we are going to do is we are going to download a couple of documents, pass the document here, identify the text based on that. Okay, that we can do, and we can identify the language of the particular text which is there in the particular image. So you can do that, and you can create a bot which can identify text from images. Okay, and based on the language selected, you can translate that language and you can showcase it in the text box or something. So for example, let me give you a quick example of it. So let me delete this question as of now. Let's connect this Google Vision here. Mukesh, I will share the document or the link how to enable Google Vision API. I will share the link at the end of the session. Okay, how to enable that, because I wouldn't be able to complete all the part of installation and enabling the Google's API in this session. It is a way to a vast topic, so I will do it end of the session. Okay, thank you. Now what we will do is we will quickly capture some German handwritten or German signboard, let's say. and let us say we capture this one. Okay, let's say we get this one. We will save this in the documents where we have created this particular bot, which is language translation. We'll create a new folder called as docs. We'll save it here. Let's say image 1, okay, or we can say German 1. Now let's navigate back to our UiPath Studio. Now the image path is going to be docs, this German 1, and let's say language is nothing but language variable. We create one variable called as language, okay, and identify text. Let's say, so this is the string, so we will call this as extraction. Done. Now what's happening here is this particular activity will take this input image, okay, and identify language and extract the text out of that particular image. So we will expand the scope of these two variables. Come back here. Here what we will do is we will say if, I'll connect it here, okay. Let's download the package for ML skill. So what is the package name? uipath.mlservices.activities. I will install this package because we need to utilize the ML skills which we have deployed on AI Fabric, correct? So for that, we need to download that. Now we downloaded the package, and let us say if the language is equal to DE. DE is for German. Okay. If the language is for DE, then I will do what? Is I will drag ML skill activity here. I will apply German to English skill. Okay. The input is going to be extraction and the output is going to be English text. Okay. And in the else block, if it is not German, then let's say we will verify if it is Russian. Okay. So for Russian, I don't know as of now what the code will be, but let's just keep added the ML skill. We will change the logic later. So let's say Russian to English. Okay. And here we pass. So anybody knows code for Russian language? Yes, Piyush, we can make 4 AI Fabric projects with enterprise trial license, but only 4 because you have 2 AI robots. One AI robot is capable of creating 2 AI Fabric projects. Okay, now we will pass extraction here and we will say this is again, yes. So for Russian, it could be RU. So we can use that also. Thank you, Mukesh. So now we have English text, and what we will do is whatever the data which will be converted, we will just use a message box, display it here, okay? And we will say translation is English text, okay? So let's see if our workflow works. So let's say run, and we will wait for the bot to execute. So translation is wild rabies. Can you see? So what exactly happened here is Google Vision helped us to identify the language code and the extraction text. And then in the if condition, we checked whether language is DE, that is German. If the language is German, we use German to English model. And if the language is Russian, so for that, we can also add a if condition here. We can just say simply here, no. Within if else, we are nesting one more if else condition. We can see here, if the extraction is equal to, let's say, RU, then we will use this model, okay, Russian model. So now let's do one thing, let's print it. We did not print it last time. Let's try to print it and we can get the output. So let's add right line here, add one more right line here. So the first right line, which is there, we will use for language code. So we can say language code is, language, and extracted text is extraction. Okay. Yes, Nagarjun, I'll tell you where you can see the logs for ML skill. So once this is done, now what we will do, we'll run the same bot again and we'll check. Now I'm going to refresh this page on Orchestrator. You can see it is still not updated how many predictions I have made with the German to English model. You can see here, translation is wild rabies. Now if you can open output panel, language code was DE and extracted text was this one, which is present right now in front of you. Okay. Now, similarly, this we used for one of the German signboard, which is German image. Now let's capture one of the Russian signboard. Okay. So we can see whether we can extract the data from the Russian signboard also. So let's say we capture this data. We store it as, okay, this is in GIF mode format. Let's capture some other image. Let us capture this image, okay, and we will save it as the Russian image. And now let's change the path of the image in the Google Vision scope. So we will change the path of image here. And let's try to see what happens this time, okay? So this is only for one image right now. And now think about the use cases while I'm doing this. So it is blank. I don't know why. Blank because language code is RU. Extracted text is also there. Then extracted text, I think it did not send it to this extraction. Oh, sorry, I compared it with the extraction. I should have done it with the language. My mistake. For comparison, yeah, Mukesh, I noticed that. So language is equal to R. Okay, perfect. Now let's try to run it again. Let's say run. So if you see, extraction was very fast. That means Google Vision is working very fast. Now the translation is happened to live. Okay. So as you can see here, the extractions that we are getting is the translation that we are getting is from using language translation model. Okay. And the language detection we are doing using Google Vision Scope. So we are mixing very high level or high power applications within UiPath, and that too without coding. So without having to code, I actually only initialize Google Vision Scope, which is also a package, which is a very great package. If you check here, if you just type Google, so Google Vision Scope is a very nice package where you have face detection, annotate image, you have handwritten detection, you have label detection, logo detection, safe search, and a lot of information here. And also with the language translation, we were able to translate the images, which we even didn't know of what the images text consists of. So the language barrier is now broken. The main motivation of this particular model is to improvise the international communications. Now, for example, if you're working with any German client and you want to communicate with the person in the German organization, then you do not have to actually learn German language to understand the person. And let's say unfortunately, he doesn't know English. So while communicating, it would be very difficult for you to communicate with this person and it would impact definitely on your business. But what you can do with leveraging this packages, which is language translation packages, you can actually integrate the packages with the chatbot of Slack, which I have done in one of the live sessions of UiPath community. Okay. And within that event, we created a chatbot which was created for Slack channel using AI Fabric as a component for language translation. In that chatbot, what we were doing is we were taking input from user on Slack channel in a specific language that user is entering, let's say German. Then automatically the Slack channel will pass that information using chatbot feature of UiPath to AI Fabric, get the converted data, translate it into English, ask us the give us the response in English, what user is trying to say. Now, even if you don't know what user is trying to say in German, you will understand it because it is converted into English. And now what we have designed the mechanism that when you type the response again to this person, you type the response in English language and the response will automatically be converted into German and sent back to the person. So even he doesn't have to understand your English language. So in this way, without hampering communication of both the people, we were able to communicate very smoothly without having a language as a barrier. So this increases the scope of going beyond and communicating with international clients because most of the market, IT market, or most of the clients are from German or Russia, which countries has a language barrier to communicate. Now that is not to worry about when you have all these packages, and that also without having to retrain or without having to train any model. Without having to train any data, you can utilize these models. Now we have created one of the component which was using Google Visions. So let's keep it aside and let's create something else. Okay. So what I will do is I will simply disconnect this one. So this was the one which was using Google Vision. Okay. So come back and we'll rename it as Google Vision. I will keep it somewhere down. Okay, now we will create the first bot that we were trying to create. Okay, so let's navigate and let's say we take input dialog from user. Okay, so I will simply say here input dialog. Now the input that we are going to take from user is going to be in a language. So I will ask here a question. Okay, and the question will be entered is stored in question named variable. Oh, sorry, the variable already exists. Perfect. So we'll utilize the same variable here. Done. Now, once this question is asked from user, okay, what we will do is we will simply ask one more question. Let's say, so this question is, let's say, part of later piece. The first piece is language, okay? And we will ask user here, enter your native language. Or we can just select. So let's ask user to select native language. Okay. So once we say select, we will give a multiple choice for user and we will create an optional array here, which is going to be either German or Russian. Okay. We'll say okay. And the value will be stored in lang call variable. Now what we will do, we will simply based on the flow decision here, okay, so we will also before flow decision we will put this question here connected. So this is the language, select language, okay, and now we will put a flow decision here. In the flow decision we will say if my lang variable is equal to, let's say, German, if user has selected German language. Okay, so if user has selected German language, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an ML skill activity here, right here on this side. Sorry. So let me expand this a little bit. Put Google Vision somewhere down here. Okay. Now let's bring this flowchart flow decision here. So we will connect this when it is equal to German with the ML skill, and also we will drag one more ML skill on this side, which we will connect if it is not German. So that means definitely it is going to be Russian because we have only two options, correct? So ML skill, and we have ML skills, let's say, so the first thing we need to select is the user is going to ask question in German language, right? So we're going to say German to English. We will pass user's question here. in the input, and we'll get output as German question, or we can say question. Okay, simple. Oh, sorry. English question. Okay, we'll call this variable English question. Now this ML skill we selected for German. This ML skill we will select for Russian. Okay, so we'll say Russian to English, and we'll put here, let's say question is the input, and this is English question. So we will get our question translated, and we will get the question translated. Once we get the question translated here, what we are going to do is we are simply going to pass a message box to display that question to us. So this is the message box. So message box will display the question is okay, plus it is going to be the English question definitely. The same message box I can copy and paste it here. Now I do not have to worry about the answer that I have to give, because what I will do is I will again put here input dialog, this one. What I will do is simply I will say this is the answer. So type your answer in English language. Okay, and the answer is going to be, let's say, answer. That's it. Answer called variable. The same activity goes here for this one too. We'll have to move this Google Vision somewhere, man. It is disturbing. Okay. And now, once this is done, we'll increase the scope a little bit. You can increase it however you want. And once this is done, simply what we will do on this side, we will translate this answer from English to German again. Okay. Now remember, English to German, pass this as answer, and the response will be let's say answer, or let's say translated answer. Okay, and on this side we will add a ML skill which will translate it from English to Russian. Okay, this will be similarly answered, and we will translate it from English to Russian. So this will be translated answer. And once this is done, all this is done, both of the questions are answered. Now what we will do, we will ask one more input dialog activity here below. Okay, which will connect it right here. We will connect this both. Okay, we will ask user choice. Select correct option. There's going to be a multiple choice option. We will pass an array as either you want to create or either you want to say, let's say, next question, or exit. Okay, and the value entered will be, let's say, choice, stored in choice named variable. What we will do is this choice will add a flow decision right below this. If the choice is to exit, what will simply exit out here, and if the choice is not to exit, then definitely it is asking the next question. So we will drag it all the way above and we'll connect it to the question which was asked here, or we can select the language again. Okay, so you have created a translated answer will not be displayed. Oh, correct. Yeah, let me display the translated answer also. Thank you, Mukesh, for noticing that. So we will drag it here, the translated answer, which is, let's put it in ML skill here, message box here. So translated answer. Okay, and the same thing goes from here to here. because we are using mostly the same variables, trying to use as less variables as possible. So we'll connect it with this thing, we'll connect it with the input array here. Perfect. And let's try to open also at the same moment. Here we will open, English to German. Let's say. So we'll type some text as where do you live? Now I obviously don't know German, so I'll just copy it from here, Google. Okay, and let's go back to our workflow. Let's try to run the workflow and let's see how it works. So select your native language. I select German. Enter the question here. So this is my question. Wo, wohin, Sie. Wohin, Sie. Okay. So I clicked on it. So the question, as you can see, the question is translated in English language. Where do you live? So this translation happened with which model? This translation happened with German to English model, okay, which we used here. The German to English model translated the text that we entered as a German. If you click OK again, it is asking you to type your answer. So I live in India. And if I click OK, it will again translate this English text to German and it will just translate this to ish. I don't know what this is pronounced at, Libe or something, in India, in Indien. Okay, so India is called as Indien here. And I think German is also called as Deutschland in German language. So this is how it is translated. Once you click OK, you will be asked a choice. Do you want to ask next question? So surely we want to ask next question. Let's ask something else. So let's see, did you complete the exam? We'll ask this question and we'll check how accurate this bot is going to be. Again, I'm going to select the German language, okay, enter this question, and let's see what translation comes up. So we were able to create this bot very fast. Okay, now look at this. The question is, have you completed the exam? Now, only a little bit of pronunciation or you can see grammatical changes are there. So here I have asked, did you complete the exam and have you completed the exam? Both things are same, okay. Now, if you click OK and if you give the answer as yes, I completed yesterday. Okay. So you can also see English language to German translation, which is for yes, it is saying ja, ish, habe, and blah blah blah. So I don't know what this is. So this is the translation which is converted from English to German. Now again, it is asking whether you want to ask next question. Sure, let's try to hit German, Russian this time. So rather than English to German, let's see Russian. Okay, so we'll ask a couple of questions, something like, do you use smartphone? Okay, we'll ask this question. Let's see how it translates. Okay, so we will say this time we will select Russian. And the Russian will enter the question. Okay, so this question is here. As you can see the question. And click OK. Yes, Piyush, we'll also do that. So the question is, do you use smartphone? So the question is correct, translated to English. I will say, no, I don't. It's yet to be invented. Just something time pass. Okay, so I'm just going to answer that, and you can see the translated. It's going to be translated in Russian language. You can see here. Now I clearly cannot read this. So as Piyush has mentioned, let's try something else other than English, other than Russian and German. So let's try to add Hindi here. Okay. So let's try to give this Hindi text as an input. So it's a next question. Now we will anyhow we will have to select either German or Russian, okay, because we have designed our bot in that way. But let's see, we select German and we enter our question here. Okay, so what is going to happen before I click OK? Can anyone tell me what's going to happen? Piyush, Mukesh, no output. Okay, Mukesh says no output. So let's, and Nagarjun says any errors. Okay. So let's try to click on OK and let's try to check that. So I just gave a Hindi text to a German model. The model is expecting German. Now, if you can see, the question is translated somehow like this. Okay. Now check this. Now let's see what happened here. So we will copy this text, which is obviously not German. Okay. And we'll stop the bot. Let me kill the bot here. And let's try to check the package. Which package we were checking? German, right? So in this package, if I entered the Hindi text, I'm not even able to test it. Why? Okay. If I test it, it is giving some output. Okay, which is obviously not in English language, but I don't know clearly why this output is coming like this. Okay, so it should not ideally take the Hindi text. Okay, let's try this same thing with the German model. We'll try it with all 4 models. So you can see here, so this is giving some random text. Examples of benefits of using internet includes the ability to use internet to communicate with others, and some text, which is clearly not what we are expecting. So definitely you cannot give wrong information to the ML skill. It is not throwing error though, okay, because we do not have any particular confidence, or we do not have any mechanism to check the accuracy of the text extraction or the text translation. So this model must be having a specific designed way where it does not have a fallback mechanism or error handling mechanism, and that's why it is just trying to give some random data. But obviously that is not the answer, correct? So this is the model which we created simply within 15 minutes to check what is the language, to take the input question, and to check on the spot and to give on the spot answers. Now, can you create the same workflow? I mean, the same model. Can you build it using chatbot? Can we do that? And if we can do that, uh, what are the changes I have to do in this particular bot if I have to integrate this with a chatbot? Anyone? You can also unmute yourself and answer the question.
You would have to specify the arguments and post it to orchestrator.
Okay, correct. So
And
what you'll have to do, wherever we are taking questions and wherever we are passing the answers, we'll have to create that as an argument and we'll have to post it as an orchestrator process, correct? But now there are 2 languages, correct? So there are 2 flows. So would you create 2 different workflows or would you accommodate this in one workflow?
One workflow.
Okay, so my Mukesh says one workflow. Anybody else? Piyush?
Yeah, we can do this in one workflow only.
Okay, Pooja. Pooja is saying repository needs to be created. Pooja, can you explain your point? Repository, and which repository you're talking about?
Like if we want to be compared with the Google, I mean any chatbot, so repository means for one particular language, the one set or one area needs to be defined. Here we are just inputting one sentences. So a trained set of the statement should be there. That's what I'm implying here.
So that is going to be completely a part of Dialogflow training. Or if you're using Google Dialogflow, that is going to be a part of Dialogflow training. If you're using any other medium, so that is going to be the part of that training, okay, for other chatbot. But my question was, if we can create this bot and if we can insert this particular AI Fabric component as a chatbot, I mean behind the chatbot using UiPath, then the answer of Piyush and Mukesh is correct. We need to create only one workflow, and we just need to make sure that we take argument as an input. We create the logical flow here, and we give output also as an argument. And what we will do is we will make sure, okay, so with this model, we will try to utilize the model which is nothing but, let me navigate back here. So admin, yeah, Fabric, and we just saw one model in the language analysis. The model name is nothing but language detection. So what we will do to avoid what just happened with other languages, we will try to add this model also parallelly, which will definitely predict the language code. We will identify the language code, and based on the language code that is inputted, we will only perform that specific translation and then provide this as an input to the chatbot. Okay, but now again my question is, so if you are going to integrate it with any chatbot, then there are going to be two processes to run. First process is going to translate your text from German to English. Okay, and then the second process is going to translate from English to German. So can we include this both in same workflow, or do we have to create two processes for that?
Same workflow.
And how are you going to take input in that case?
Basically, the idea should be that like that once a chatbot is created, like I'm giving an input in Russian, so my bot is triggered in that same workflow. First, that is being converted to English. Then an input dialog can come up which can ask us what you want to send back. That is converted through another ML skill from English back to Russian, and that
Correct.
is set as an out argument and sent back to the chatbot. So
Correct.
everything can be included in single workflow.
Correct. But if I want to create an app out of it, okay, UiPath app, let's say, and I'm using that app on different machine, and my bot is running on some other machine, let's say, in server machine. In that case, yes, exactly. So Nagarjun has answered the correct question. So if I'm using UiPath apps, in that case, I do not want UiPath to show me a pop-up to take my answer to convert into again the native language. So in that case, I will have to create two bots for translation. Okay, one would be translation of question to English. Another bot will be translation from English to that particular language, native language. In that case, I can do it remotely. I can use UiPath apps and I can use it on separate machine also. And the bot will trigger on the server machine itself. So the bot can remain unattended, and I do not have to manually run the bot. Bot can automatically get triggered from Orchestrator. So that is also one way which we can use, and that also we can do. And your answer is also correct here. So we can also enter the data in the input dialog box, and we can use the same. But that will work only on that laptop where the bot is running.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah. So with this, we have also completed one of the most important model, which is language translation package. Now, I want all of you to contribute and help me identify some of the use cases. So what are the use cases that comes to your mind, which we have seen today? So the first thing which we have discussed obviously is nothing but a chatbot for international communication. Now, what are other use cases that comes to your mind when you think about language translation machine learning model? And everybody is welcome to add your inputs.
It can be useful whenever there is any operation team in finance, or let's say supply chain or different business unit. They're working on a global position. Let's, for example, team working for a different region and handling a front office issues, or there is a email, the mails are coming in German language to respond. At that time, we need a language expert, right? So operation always hire a language expert, and they're very limited resource. So in order to avoid that, this can be act as one of the automation where whenever there is any email comes in and we pass through this language translation, it can convert it back and it can be easily responded. That's one use case I can correlate.
Correct. So this is exactly correct, which I was actually expecting, and it was also in my mind. So the one use case which we can utilize very obviously is nothing but wherever business is talking with a specific country's people, and let's say we are, let's say the organization is into handling reports or issues. Okay. So on the front ground, if customer is sending emails of issues in their native language, which is German or Russian, let's say, then you can utilize that particular model to translate the native people's query and understand the query of the person from the language, answer your question, answer all their queries in your native language, and translate that into again German or Russian and send it to them. So it makes it very useful for not only for, let's say, now I do not have to hire any German person to look into German issues specifically, because I can also do it with the language translation bot. Any person who knows simple English language can do this work. Correct? So this is very wonderful use case. Thank you so much for bringing it up.
Other
Anything
can
that-
be contract negotiation. So I have seen this one where the clients are sending you contracts. So for example, you are dealing with a China or a Japan client and they send their contract in their native language. So then this bot can be, I don't know what is the amount of text it can take, means the
Correct.
number of lines.
Correct.
Means
So
have
now
you tried
deploy
it?
it and test it and tell me what amount of text that gets converted.
Yes, means okay. I don't think there should be some limitation, but I think the time will increase, right? The
Yeah, exactly. The
translation
time of translation might increase.
Right.
Even I don't think there will be a limitation, because I have tried it with more than 5 pages document and it worked
Okay.
for me. So
Okay.
check once how many
Mhm.
pages of document you have.
Yes.
Yes, Lokesh, you're saying something?
Yeah, we can use multiple, multiple ML skills as well, right? So what I was thinking is, let's say, so we are in USA and we have a couple of restaurants chains in Russia as well. So we can use text analysis as well as language detection to, you know, to
Correct.
maybe you can, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So we can exactly. So this was also one of the point which I wanted to bring up. Thank you for bringing it up, Lokesh. So you can also use English text classification, which is one of the model, and you can use it in the, or you can also use any other language translation model. And with that, you can merge the this model, which is text classification. So what Lokesh's points is, let me explain you. So let's say a person sends an issue email or any email which is referring to a specific class. Now you have defined a text classification mechanism which only supports English language. Okay. Now that mechanism is built on top of language analysis with the English text classification. But you get an input in German language or in Russian language. Now, as you have multiple ML skill deployable capability, you can convert that language into English, feed the data to language analysis, the text classification, identify the classification result, and based on the response, you can again write it back to the specific customer in the native language. That also you can do. That's why it is really great that we have up to four ML skill support. So you can create wonders with that. Thank you for bringing it up, Lokesh.
Nisarg, we can use it for document analysis also. For example, if you are using Chinese documents or Russian documents, then mostly it will in their own language. So we can use this model in that particular area also, Nisarg.
Exactly. So this was also one of the point. Let's say, for example, you have a document understanding. Now, document understanding, you're not using document understanding. Let's say you have a digital document which is Chinese, or you have a digital document which is of a specific language for which you have a, let's say, AI fabric model here. So you can also read the Russian document, digital document, and you can extract details from there, right? And you can anytime perform document understanding also. That is also one more really nice use case. So we are now brainstorming and we are now getting much more better use cases out of it. So I hope every one of you who is mentioning the use case, try to build it and try to create it with the UiPath Studio. Let me know how easy it is and how you find it. So if you find any difficulties, you can anytime reach out to me. Okay. And yes, for the first case which I showed, which was the Google Vision. So how to enable Google Vision API, you can find that entire video on my YouTube channel. I will share it later on with you in the chat section. So in that video, you can find how to enable Google Vision. I could not complete it in the today's session. It is a vast topic.
Okay,
Any more
thanks.
questions, or we can close?
Nishak, one question on where we can check the ML skills logs, Nisha.
Yes. So whenever you go to any, let's say, so this is the ML skill which is deployed. You can see here. Okay. So you can simply go to the logs here, ML logs. This will give you logs of only the deployment, correct? What are the deployments that happens? So you want to check the logs of ML skill, what is predicted and all that, is it?
Right.
Okay, so in that case, I'm not sure because I have not used ML skill logs as of now. I mean, I did not need any requirement. I'll have to check it with the documentation. If I find any relevant information, I will definitely get back to you in the next session, Lokesh. Lokesh, right? Oh, sorry, Nagarjun, right?
Sabari. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Savari. So I'll get back to you in the next session. I'll definitely ask this question. I'll get it answered.
Thanks, Nisha.
Yes, but you can get the prediction, number of predictions that you have made in the orchestrator. Okay, so there it maintains the count of number of predictions.
No,
Right.
it's not in orchestrator. It is in ML skill only. Here you have a column called prediction. That will show how many predictions is done.
It is there only. So let me show you very quickly. So yeah, this one only. You can see here.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so it is 0 right now. So it will update as soon as you make the predictions. You can see it here also. You can also see it in orchestrator ML skills. You can also see it here in the ML skill.
So the ML log part, whenever there is an execution happened, I was in the impression it also captured here in ML log. Whenever you suppose you run something, and in ML log you can still see those logs what you just asked.
Correct. So now if you see this one, let me show you once again. So let's navigate to. So maybe if you're correct, we can get the answer right away for Savari. So we use mostly English, German to English, right? Let's look at the logs and check the logs up to 25. So as you can see, there are only 3 logs as of now, okay, which is still deployment. So there are no logs which are stored here. So that's what I'm not sure about this answer, but let me check. I think, I'll have to check it with the team and I can get back to you on this. So Sishira, I think you also might be correct. It might be updating here, but I'm not sure. I've never checked.
See the prediction once, ML skill, how many predictions is showing?
So it is not showing anything. It is showing 0. Oh yeah, it is showing 3 right now. It is reflecting right now.
Maybe it's reflecting.
So maybe it is, maybe it is still reflecting. Maybe it is delayed. Maybe it shows in the same ML log. Not sure.
Yeah.
I need to check this. Perfect. So Mukesh, reach out to me after the session if you have any query. And for people, those who want to know how to enable Google Vision, so you can anytime reach out to my YouTube channel, which is this one. As you already know, Mr. Kadam. So you can reach out here and you can see here.
So it's already there, right? Okay. Got it.
Yeah, you have a video for enabling Google Cloud Vision API.
Okay, I'll refer that.
I will also copy it in the chat section, so you can also create this one and you can enable the Google Vision API. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. And so as Vibhor mentioned in the beginning of the session, we will postpone the session which was on Friday, 22nd. We are postponing it to 23rd.